Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the wind down. That means it's Friday. That means it's the best day of the week, which I think I've already made clear earlier this week that I was a little bit excited for us to be back shooting the wind down because it's our first episode of 2022.
Yep.
Hey. So let's pour some wine.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Today we are drinking an Italian wine. A Primitivo, which was a varietal I've never heard of before, but very excited.
Mm-hmm.
From southern Italy, the Southern Boot.
The Southern Boot. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how this one goes down. I'm sure it'll go down really well because it's been a long week. You know what I mean?
It's been a long week.
Here, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Hey.
Delicioso.
As the Italians do. I hope everyone else is pouring their wine with us because we're going to take it pretty easy today. And we're just going to be talking about New Year's resolutions, financial New Year's resolutions, whatever, really, right?
Yep. Because it's that time of year.
It is that time of year. It's a
reset. We understand it's February already, but, I actually, and I don't know, I didn't tell you this already, I actually did not set any New Year's resolutions with the start of January.
Yeah.
Because the New Year turnover was just too chaotic for me. And I said, I was like, I'm going to start my New Year's resolutions with the Lunar New Year, which starts February 1st this year.
Nothing wrong with
so
that.
My New Year's resolutions just went into effect this week.
I like that.
So we're right on track.
Also, that's a lot of pressure after the holidays to be like, no, set this resolution that you have to follow. And you're like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time to do that. Okay, so get into it. Tell me, what have you just started this week?
Well, one of my resolutions, and this is the last 2 years I've also made this resolution. So it's not new, but it is to exercise 3 times a week plus or minus 1 time. So that gives me a margin of error. Like if I go 2 days a week, I've still hit my goal. If I go 4 days a week, I have still hit my goal. But to go an average of 3 times is really what I feel like I need from a mental health point of view.
I like the range that you've, mine is going to be, I want to exercise 0 to 4 times.
Great. There you go.
So if I hit 0, I've reached my goal. And if I hit 4, I've reached a goal as well.
There you go. I've just found that, a lot of people make these health and wellness resolutions, fitness resolutions. Mm-hmm. They're hard to stick to, and especially with all the things going on. But for me, giving myself that margin of error still allows me to feel like I'm being successful, and then I continue to want to do it.
Right.
And I haven't been able to run or really do anything physical for the last 4 months. I hurt my knee in September. So I just finished my physical therapy. So I am now able to start slowly working my way back to running and being physically fit. So I mean,
it's perfect that it's starting.
Exactly.
When it's starting, everything lined up for this date.
Exactly. Exactly.
Instead.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there was a time where I used to frequent the gym quite regularly, and this was before I was a mother, honestly. And I do remember though, like after the New Year, the gym was full, and you're like, I can't get my treadmill because everyone made their New Year's resolution to go to the gym, and then like a month later, it started like tapering off. So I think setting realistic goals that's the way to do it. Good job.
So it's funny, they say that most New Year's resolutions fail by January 17th. So if you are still doing your New Year's resolution, then you are on track to keep it for the year.
Yeah.
Because it takes 21 days to actually start a habit.
To implement like right.
So you go past that 17 days, get past the 21, you're already on a month.
Yep. You
should be good to go.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Okay, so this is something that I've been thinking. I was similar to you because I just didn't have it together to...
It's okay. It's the holidays. There's a lot going on. There's Omicron.
My New Year's resolution, was to get through Omicron and to get through all the family and the holidays and the baby and, all of that stuff. So, I did that. So, success. And now I think What I want to start implementing in my life or being more mindful of is I really want to be less of a consumer. And in turn, I'm going to be saving probably a lot of money because I realized that I am an easy target. I'm an easy target. I'm the one that's on Instagram swiping, and they know what I want. They've been listening to me talk about it, say bathing suit, and there's the bathing suit I want. I'm like, how did you know? It's exactly the one I wanted.
So this goes back to our cookies conversation.
The cookies conversation, yes. And I tried
for Wednesday.
Yeah, if you missed the episode, I put Hillary on the spot, and I tried to have her explain what cookies were, which was not nice of me. I was like, so what are those? Without asking her before if she even knows what they are. But she did it.
I am not a tech person, but I understand the gist of it.
Yes, and this has a lot to do with that, right? It's the algorithm. It's the algorithm. It'll get you, and it's gotten me, and especially since having a kid as well, you're constantly talking about them, whether you're like on the phone with a parent or, I'm with my husband or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so when it's something for your kid,
it's easy.
Oh, it's so easy, especially when it comes to safety. And I'll be like, oh, does she need that?
Safety or anything to get them to sleep.
Yes, I know.
Or brain development.
Safety or something that will help me stay sane as a mother. I'm like, sign me up.
Exactly.
But I think I'm realizing like, I just have so much stuff. And I don't need all of this stuff. And I want to try and just break the addiction because I really think it kind of becomes that. You're like, oh, the Amazon and, it's at your fingertips. It'll be there the next day. Right. I need this. And I really want to stop and be more mindful about what I actually need and what I don't need. On top of that, I want to clean house, All
right. So how are you going to implement these goals? Well, that is half the battle I have figured out.
Now she's putting me on the spot. Okay, so when I can find time, I might be establishing this right now on camera in front of all of you.
You guys are all witness. We'll check in March.
0 to 3 times a week. I want to. I'm just kidding. Okay, 2 times a week after the baby goes to bed. Mm-hmm. I'm starting slow. I'm just gonna take one section, like these drawers. I'm gonna just empty them and I'm gonna say bye-bye, bye-bye, and then it's like Marie Kondoing my stuff.
Love that.
So, and hopefully I'll see, that it financially is helpful as well.
Well, you might find things that you'd forgotten you own. Mm-hmm. I always find that when I'm cleaning out my closet or something like that.
Ooh.
Maybe you can resell them if it's something worth it. Sometimes it's better to give it away and let somebody else use it.
Yeah, I have some friends though that are really into the reselling market. I know there's apps for that and everything. It's like, you have to put some time into that as well, which overwhelms me a little bit. So maybe I should just give my stuff to them.
There you go. There you go. Give them a commission.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they get to take, Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's smart to start small and just section it off. I think that's how you build a sustainable goal.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also we are, first-time homeowners. I've been living in an apartment for 15 plus years, and I haven't been able to have this kind of space to accumulate things. And I think when we moved into the house, I was like, oh, we can have stuff now because we have all of this space. And so...
Do you have a basement?
We have a basement.
Yeah, Yeah, that happens when you get
in
a
garage.
basement. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what? And now there's just all this stuff there, and I don't even know what's there. So I just want to, know what's in my house and be mindful about what I need, what I don't need, and just spend less in general,
Yeah.
And we're back to talk about more New Year's resolutions that we have set for ourselves. Now, Hillary, have you set any specifically like financial resolutions for the year?
Yeah, so I typically also try to set one that's financially based. And this year it is to add to my emergency fund. So right now, and I actually got inspired to do this by the article that we were reading about inflation and how 40% of Americans, the inflation is going to affect them heavily because they are just one paycheck, one emergency away from, not financial ruin, but it affecting their credit and their debt heavily. And, I also know with doing this network and doing these shows, how important having an emergency fund is. So getting 3 to 6 months of my salary or my expenses for 3 to 6 months put away.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So gonna start with getting to the
wellness.
3. Yes. Start with getting to the 3. I have 1. I'm gonna get to the 3 in 4 months, and then by the end of the year, try to get to the 6.
We're gonna check back in 4 months on the show. We'll see. Did you make it? Did you make it?
We'll see.
I know.
What about you?
Yeah. Mine is kind of tied into what I was talking about before, where I just want to be less of a consumer, but I'd like to see the results of that. It's like a science experiment, but with money.
Love that.
So yes, I want to clean house and be more mindful about what is in my home, but I kind of want to do an experiment where every time I go to buy something that I would have bought before, I would have just done it, right? I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it into savings, and I'm going to see how quickly that adds up. And if so, maybe I'll keep doing it, and I might find a new system, and I don't know. And then in the next segment, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with all that money. Giveaways. Just kidding.
Vacation. Once we can do that.
Yeah, right. First caller.
Right.
You get a free. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of my plan, and I'm interested and kind of scared to see the reality of that, because I might, it might be a wake-up call of how much I have been spending on just things that I really don't need.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Are you going to put it into a savings account, a high-yield savings account?
I would like to put it into a high-yield savings account.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's smart too, especially with the way inflation's going.
Yep.
Unfortunately, putting things just directly into your savings, you can be actually losing out on money just because of the way that inflation is happening these days. So,
yeah, we're going high-yield all the way.
High-yield.
In 2022.
There we go. I like it.
So on Your Money, Your Wealth, Joe and Al, we're talking about really checking your portfolio to see if it is age/risk appropriate, and especially with the stock market at the moment kind of on a decline, to really take the time to look at it and make sure that, your money is safe, right?
Well, I think this is the right time of year. You're reassessing a lot of different things in your life, and part of that should be not only your financial plan, but also how your portfolio is set up. And I think that they did a really interesting job, and it's a good way of thinking about it, where do you have the portfolio of somebody who's in their 20s or 30s, or do you have the portfolio of somebody who's in their 60s? And if you're in your 30s and you have the portfolio of somebody who's in their 60s, which should be more conservative, should be more steady,
right,
your money probably isn't working as hard for you as it could be. You could be taking a little bit more risk because you have more time to recover it or to build it back up should there be a dip. Whereas if you're in your 60s or closer to retirement, you need that access sooner. You shouldn't probably have the volatility, the high risk that maybe somebody in their 30s does.
Right.
So,
I found that out the hard way. I realized I wasn't investing the amount I should have in my 20s. I was very low risk. And I probably missed out on a lot of opportunities on my 401k. And then, come like 10 years later, I found out and I was like, oh, shoot, I mean, now I'm where I should be in my 30s. But yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow. So it is good advice to take.
So I think it's a good time to assess, and if you're working with a financial advisor, to have them help you look at it.
And get yourself a financial advisor so that they can, because a lot of people just don't know, or some people don't even know that their company sets that up for them, and it's generating money, but you don't know how it's being invested because it's just happening, right? And so, yeah, getting a financial advisor is, I think, so helpful and important, especially if this isn't your wheelhouse, like me,
Right.
So
if it's not your wheelhouse, if it's not something you're super passionate about spending the time on, then yeah, it's definitely something. And you can get financial advice different ways, right?
Yeah.
You can pay for somebody to actually be managing your money. You can pay somebody to do a financial plan for you once a year, every 5 years, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you can go back to that person every year and have them relook at your portfolio with you, you know?
Right.
So I think there's a lot of different ways to do it. And I think it's a good time to just reassess everything and just kind of take a look and make sure you're where you want to be, especially given that the market right now is having a correction time, which is
I like that way of putting it.
Good marketing spin.
Correction time.
And now might also be the time, if you have money set away, like where you might want to get into the market, because there are some good deals to be had as things are correcting themselves and getting closer to the valuations that they should be at.
Right. This is great advice. I'm taking notes. Someone has a financial advisor husband. Someone does not.
Someone also watches all the shows on here and has learned a lot.
I know. And
I mean,
it's true.
you have too. You've watched all the shows.
I've watched a lot of shows, I will say. I have. I'm a fan of our own station.
Right?
I mean, geez. I feel like now if I meet anyone in person, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, hi. Hi, Joe. Hi, Al. I feel like I know you so well.
Exactly.
Thank you for getting my life in order.
Thanks for that tip about reassessing my portfolio every year.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Age risk evaluation. Thank you. Anyway, wow. Yeah, I can't believe we're here. We're in 2022. And I'm so excited that we're back and we're doing this again.
Yeah,
and we're going to see you on a weekly basis now. So please, please, please tune in. Check out, our channel on, it's a list. It's Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV.
Or we also have the apps for your phone, either on iOS or on Android. So no matter what kind of phone you have, you can watch it on the go.
Hey. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of The Wind Down. We hope to see you next week. Cheers. Cheers. Ding.